Hey, very good. Not too bad.
You can finally meet.
Yeah. I'm glad we finally got that opportunity. I've heard a lot
Yeah,
about
it's been a hot minute.
yeah. I heard about y'all's click kind of spinning up a couple weeks back, and I've been meaning to go down there, but time zones and my schedule's just all over the place. I barely remember what I did yesterday, to be honest.
You're good, man. I mean, I'll give you like a bit of a TLDR rundown. A couple of months ago, I'm sure you remember Lex. Yeah, he kind of got a call saying that he got to take care of some stuff in Cuba. I guess his return was looking a bit unlikely, so he kind of stepped down as the Jefe of VAGOS.
Oh.
We had someone called Raul running for a bit, basically kind of like making sure he was taken care of in the barrio, like that. I think it's been like a week or two now since VAGOS have properly been back. And the same old people, but a couple of new faces too. New Jefe. Yeah, I mean, yeah, before left off, Lex had a bit of a relationship. We're coming to like a few meetings every now and then between you two. With there was issues in the south side with the feds. I'm just hoping we can rekindle that connection.
Yeah, absolutely. I did not realize. I was under the impression, from what people were telling me, that it was kind of a new clique. I think maybe we should start with this. I have been told that y'all don't live in the barrio and may call yourself like the East Side Cypress Vagos or something. Oh, it's not you guys.
Nah.
Oh shit. Okay. What is going on with that? Because like I think they're, you know how it is, right? Like if people don't see people, they run off rumors. But this is what I'm constantly being told.
I mean, I'm real. We've always had the issue of people trying to false flag as us. Oh yeah, we're some type of Vago. I mean, I'm sure you heard at one point there was some West Side Vago.
Chat, what the
down like a
fuck?
Billy or something like that. So there's always someone out there trying to claim that they're Vagos, but nah, we're the OG Vagos, still holding it down in the barrio. That's gonna be our home for now, forever. No one gonna take us out of the barrio.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, that's actually very good to hear.
It's also why we kind of wanted to meet up with you. I won't lie. You're a bit of a businessman. You do investments in property. I saw that you have a Jamestown 9 house. I'm not sure whether you live in there or it's a house that you are going to put into the lottery or
I believe it is. Yes. Let me take a look. Is it the one that I think you're talking about the one that has like a bunch of like toxic waste barrels near it?
It possibly could be. I couldn't really locate where Jamestown 9 was.
I got you. I think it's the one. I think I know exactly which one it is. Yeah.
So we kind of had the idea to, approach you, seeing whether you'd be willing to do like a private sale. Whether, straight full cash or whether we could interest you in potentially like a smaller property you could sell and then cash on top.
That is something I could certainly be open to. I think if we do property trades, as long as the trade is netting like, because at the end of the day, I have to, this program that we put in place, the intention was there are barely any houses.
Yeah.
It's so scarce and it's limited. Like there's about 600 properties and there's more properties, I think, than people are actively paying taxes. And so
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree.
yeah, so it creates kind of a bit of a conundrum for a lot of folks that have never even seen the light of day of like a house. So legally, when I purchase these things on behalf of the county, while private sales are possible, there's like very strict guidelines around it. If we did a swap, that's something I can do with this, but a private sale would be very difficult. And there's also the notion of like, if I were to sell to you guys directly, it would look a certain kind of way, right? To
No,
law
of course.
enforcement.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'll be real. I'm not sure what the market value for that place is currently, like the one that you have. I'm assuming it's like 500-600. And obviously, you're going to want at least something in a bit above that range, aren't you?
yes. It's not even that whether I want it or don't want it. It's more that it has to look right, you know?
Yeah, of course. Like, at the end of the day, we want the papers looking clean. Like,
exactly. And
we can't have no.
The other thing too is I got people like law enforcement that's consistently up my ass because they just assume I do criminal shit, which is wild because like if I really wanted to, like a PD would burn like nonstop. But you know, you can, you know, it's politics, right? So
Yeah, I mean, shit. I remember when fucking you had to step in because whenever Fed step in the south side, it would literally be chaos.
it would. Oh my God, that was a hell of a battle. You know what I mean?
Like Feds would literally just getting run out of the south side every day and just getting shot every day, just for even driving into the south side.
Yeah, that shit was rough.
Yeah, that was it on that topic actually. Well, not that particular, but on the topic of properties. Do y'all know there's a guy that owns 15 properties down in Is that guy with you guys? Do you know him?
He is. I mean, I'll be real with you. We went through the properties the other day. Most of them have a use, like we're using them for a certain reason. A lot of them will be getting transferred out of his name, just so that he isn't holding on to them per se. But yeah, I mean, I understand how it kind of looks, you know, like someone has like a fuck ton of houses in the barrio. But no, he is with us. We do use him on a daily basis. So it's not like they've just been sat there and rusting away, basically.
Understandable. I think it's important, and I think this is something to be like to consider, right? Is there was a like I think like 2-3 I think it's been about like 3 months ago now. There was like an evaluation done on all properties around the city, and this evaluation was spearheaded by the marshals.
Right.
And it has been an attempt to see, and I don't want to like make any judgment call on like this particular person or make it seem like he's like the only one, but there was a pattern found of like something like 40% of properties being owned by, let's just call them non-tax paying residents, right?
Right.
And then the
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then the second category was anyone that may own like a significant amount of property. And obviously, like you said, it can look a certain way. It could look like a bunch of different things, right? They look like it immediately screams stash house, or alternatively, it screams like clean guy, or screams, like a realtor or something, you know. And the reason I bring that up, right, is I think there are only like 450 properties, and while, you know, at the end of the day, if you own the thing, that is yours, but it is going to consider that it is going to assume the marshals are going to be very interested in those locations, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But is there but they're
I mean,
all actively used? Like, do people live there? Do you guys use it for stuff? I mean, I don't want to go too
yeah.
deep. Like, I don't want to know like details
So
or whatever. But
I'll be straight up with you.
yeah.
We do have people living in there.
Mhm.
It's so half are being used for stuff, and then half are being used for living spaces.
All right.
And like, just put it blunt, like you said, this is someone who pays his taxes, and this is someone who like grafts and stuff like that. So
Understood. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I brought that up because it's been a big mystery. That's been, I know they've been looking at for a minute now.
Yeah.
And I was confused myself too, because if I'm going to keep it, I'm just going to keep it a buck with you guys. While there was that period of inactivity, like
Yeah.
2-3 months ago or whatever, I think we were kind of like, oh shit, this guy owned everything, and we got in 3 months a bunch of properties are going to pop up, but it's good to know that it's at least utilized, right? We thought they may have been abandoned, is what I was trying to say.
No, I mean, Lex had them all in his name when he was around, because obviously he was Hefe at the time. And so obviously when he stepped down and kind of took his trip to Cuba, he gave it to like the next person that was in charge. So he just kind of maintained like the properties, maintained the barrio, maintained the VAGOS, and like had a presence. But obviously he's had to take a bit of a back burner too, and so I've chosen to step up and take the position of the Hefe at this moment. And then obviously, like I said, in terms of those properties, they will be getting dished out between like members and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it doesn't look like there's one person just holding a bunch of properties basically.
That's good. I think for y'all's people are very rabid for properties, and I think if you dish it out, I think whenever they do another run, it's gonna probably reduce your footprint in the eyes of the feds effectively.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, we like, truth be told, we're always gonna have a target on our back anyway. So
yeah, that is true. That is true. It hasn't gotten much better. Certain aspects of things have gotten better since Lex's time, in terms of like things in San Andreas. Justices are a lot more sensible for what it's worth. Cops are, we have the chief of police, Turner. He's significantly more. Months ago, there was a problem, and elements of that still exist, where the police department believes that this San Andreas is their island, and they're protecting themselves effectively from everyone else. And that comes from their treatment of people, that everyone is effectively a criminal, and that those crimes, they're like, they don't really see people as much as I hate to say it. Luckily, LSPD in some ways have changed in that perspective, and I mean actually, because keep in mind what is said to a cop can come up to somebody and say something, but once they're back with their little circle, can say something completely different, right? Intentions and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
I think that's been like a really big project of mine is why I became mayor. What I had to deal with prior to that, and what I've been seeing over time is trying to change that behavior, because if we can't, at least cops got to do their job, right? But it's
100%.
But that line gets crossed when they're not doing it for protecting, but doing it because they want power over the other, right? And that's a fucking dangerous fucking path to go down. But
I won't lie to you. I kind of felt like we had an example of that. I think it was either yesterday or the day before.
What happened?
It was with Bobby Charles, and I just felt like he was trying to big dick us, if that makes sense.
Bobby is on a short. He's the PD him and Carmine are kind of the PD's like clowns.
Mm.
The thing is, from what Bobby probably should be fired, if I'm going to be honest. I think the thing with, like, if I were to put him next to Carmine at least knows what the lines are. Bobby, you know, he moves wrong, and now all of a sudden everyone else is paying for it, right?
Yeah.
And
I feel like Bobby tries to push the line as far as he can and see how far he can get with it.
yeah. I think but oh, trust me when I say it gets worse. Like there's I've had to deal with situations of like officers, deputies indiscriminately shooting down individuals just under like I think they did something, to creating circumstances where they're agitating people in gang territory, knowing full well what the reaction's going to be. And things like that don't ever really sit well with me, because like, as far as I'm concerned, if people are living their life, right, and they're not doing anything illegal or whatever, right, there is zero reason, or should there be any tolerance for like let's call it non-mutual agitation, right?
Mm.
Like, I'd say like if a cop is just mindfully just happening to be driving down, right, whatever, right, and they're getting hollered at, I can imagine that turning into something. But if they're coming down and like fucking got a camera on their rooftop, like just knowing full well that they can see you and they're by themselves, that's just some other shit. You know what I mean?
That's just plain stupidity, honestly.
It is. And, you know, if they get clapped up, I mean, that's kind of on them, right? But unfortunately, you know, it ends up not really being the case. Now you got 40 cops up your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
mean, shit, from what I heard, the fines have been cut. At least that's not a bad shit.
Yes.
They're cut in half or something like, at least along the lines of those.
Some of the justices that stepped down recently after we pushed to get him impeached, I reduced the fines to 50% because we're currently looking to roll back the penal code. Some of the fines and times have been so egregious, I know it's prevented a lot of people from like even really doing anything, right? It became a situation where it's like, unless you've got access to millions of dollars, you can't even fucking rob like a, you know what I'm saying? You're pretty much not going to be able to do shit.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I mean, just being frank, I remember like 6-7 months ago, you know, you rob like a cash exchange. You're looking at fucking 600K in total if everyone gets caught, you know? Like 100, you're looking at least 75K to 100K per person, which is, I mean, obviously, you know, there's always a risk that comes with robbing like a place like that. But when it comes to the fine being worse than the time, it kind of like demotivates you from really trying to go down that road again, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. You know, crime is a natural aspect of San Andreas. And the goal of the government should not be to shut it down completely.
People will just find another way like easily, but you know, like let's just say they did shut down the whole crime, you know, what would happen then? They'd just be cruising around doing nothing, just sat on their asses all day.
And that's what it's been. Luckily I'm starting to see in the past couple weeks more people being around. I mean, I'm sure there's other factors involved as well, but I feel things are a lot less, I don't want to say punishing, right? But suffocating. Things are a lot less suffocating. No.
Right.
But are there any things that you want me to be mindful of? Things to keep, things that you guys are looking from me. Is there anything I can do to assist?
I mean, I'll be real. At the moment, not really. For us right now, it's just about rebuilding, remaking all the connections that we had when Lex was around
Mm.
and kind of getting our name back out there, really.
Well,
That's what our main focus is right now. And then obviously,
well, I'll tell you guys this thing is, my office has built up quite a bit over the past 9 months, and there's a lot of opportunities that weren't once there. We've got the court center running, run by Jason Todd. It's active every so often. It's getting rebuilt into something a little bit more. Very, very cool. Like I'd say, probably the next week or so, it may launch its second iteration.
I heard Junior talking about that.
Yes, it's very, very sick establishment. You can even get a distillery and make moonshine legally, as long as you got a clean record.
Damn.
Yeah, we pay out $500,000, $2 million for events. If you go to lossantos.me, you can apply for it. So, like, if you ever want to do something down in the barrio, right, you can apply for a grant. Junior can help show how to get that set up. So if you're looking to do something like, man, we need $500,000, no, the county will pay for it, right? Because we want things to pop off, right?
I mean, shit, we've been talking about it like a barrio block party for like the longest time.
You should do it. I mean, like I said, we'll pay you. You know, if you have artists and stuff, like, you know, you can pay them to attend. You know, prizes, like, you name it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah. We've whole idea is that we want to be able to make sure that people got what they need to make things happen, right? And if you're trying to do something that's giving back to the community, let us help you achieve that. I don't think anyone should feel like, man, we want to do this cool shit, but we all got to fucking grind for like 3 days for it. No, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? There's a reason everyone pays taxes, right? Let's give that money back. So.
Okay. Yeah, shit. Hell yeah, man. We'll definitely keep that in mind for the party.
Oh, yeah.
Speak to the person who wanted to plan that, and then I'm sure we can have Junior come to some sort of agreement. Hell yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I got to get going. I'm sorry if it seems like shorter than desired. It's a lot of stuff's changing, especially with laws in the next 2 weeks. Right now, when you look at law, it's just literally like a shit show. Hard to understand, whatever. A lot of this stuff is going to be a lot easier to digest so that anyone can kind of look at it and be like, I understand what should and should not be happening, right?
Yeah.
Like, and
I mean, I guess my last question before we conclude it is the property that you have, can I just get like a rough estimate as to like how much you would be expecting in return for it?
I don't think you want to. We paid $3 million for this.
God damn.
Yeah. So property, that's the problem with properties right now, is that so we bought it for $3 million, but it's going up for lottery for either 1.5 or $2 million.
Yeah.
So it's
okay. How does the lottery work, if you don't mind me just like explaining that real quick?
Absolutely. So what I do is because houses are so coveted, people don't even want to give them up. I pay more money for it, like above market value, in order to get the property. And then we put it up on City Hall, and it's a what do you call it? It's a lottery in the sense that your name gets put in, and whoever the random winner is ends up getting it for that subsidized price. So I paid $3 million to get that $2 million property that person wasn't going to otherwise sell. And then I relisted at a lower price. So first time home buyers. So there's a bunch of stipulations like didn't own a home for 6 months. It's either 3 or 6. I don't remember exactly. You need to already have the cash. You know, like all these little things, because it's meant to target circles that have never owned a house, like ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's understandable.
So,
okay. I mean, shit. If that's the case, then we could potentially look at selling one of the houses to you then.
Hey, I mean,
it'll be a discussion I'd like to have with everyone else first.
I can hold on now. Transparently, we're putting one up today. I can hold this one from going up and just push another one out. But I would need to know within, ideally, less than a week's time, like 5 days, because I can't hold it super long because, you know, I've already had this in. I had this since like a week before election, and you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the Jamestown 9 one? Is it?
Let me see. It is. Yes, that is Jamestown 9. Yep. It's the house. It's the pink house on the corner of, I think, Jamestown and El Rancho. Either Jamestown and El Rancho or Jamestown and McDonald Street. I think it's Jamestown and McDonald's. And it's got a bunch of toxic barrels. Like barrels with like the little toxic symbol.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think we used to own that one time.
Yep.
Okay. So you said like the 1.5/2 mil mark was roughly what you'd expect for it.
I can't do a direct sale, right?
No, I know.
Yeah. But I mean, if you got another house that kind of like you're considering, we can see if we can work something out. But once again, I got to be careful because just because it's something I would like to do, it doesn't mean that I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. No, realistically speaking, though, the one house that we'd offer is basically smaller than the house that you have. So,
yeah.
Like value-wise, it wouldn't be the smallest decision.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
No, I understand that.
I just can't, without the amount of people that try to, you know, come after my ass, like law enforcement for like any little thing, that in and of itself, even though how ridiculous it sounds, it would be, Nino gave a gang a house and blah 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 blah. What is he doing? Oh my god! And next thing you know, doors are kicked, they open, and then you know, it's kind of shitty, but it's just, you know, the reality we live in.
No, I mean, I get you. And at the end of the day, we don't want to cause no trouble for you, like more headaches for you, you know. So,
yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys understand.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one of those things where it would have been nice to have it, because I was just like, it's kind of within our turf, I guess you could say. But I was like, at the end of the day, it's like you said, man, people need houses nowadays, and this is one of those incentives that gives people the ability to buy a house. So
yeah,
I can't fault you on it or anything like that.
Exactly. All right, well, gentlemen, I got to make a phone call.
Yeah, you do, bro. It's all good.
Yeah, if I'm anytime you guys want to talk, I'm usually here like, you know, an hour before tsunami, hour and a half before tsunami, or like an hour after tsunami. We can, you know, anything pops up, especially if it's urgent, right? Like, we want to do a quick catch up, you know, we can schedule it. But like, let's say some shit goes down that's like pretty bad, and you need the ear of the mayor, right? If it involves law enforcement, if you guys are in some kind of like legal shit or whatever, or you want to get something done, do not hesitate to give me a ring, and you know, that's what I'm here for. So,
man, we appreciate you.
All right, easy. All right, gentlemen, y'all stay safe.
You take care of yourself, Nino.
Shit, bro.
Appreciate you.